We have an SPL indicator. That's nice. Little green dot. That's nice.
What you really know, I got all the snow. Come right out the boat, come right out the boat. Come right out the boat, come right out the boat. This year you already know. I feel like I've been the GOAT. I know I can hold my own. I know I can hold my own. All I know that crime pays. I'ma get it one day. I'm cruising down the highway. All I know that crime pays. Get 'em on the five ways. I'm cruising down the highway. I'ma get it one day. Yeah, they talking, but they never lived it. I've been gunning for them 7 digits. Came back with a better vision. I ain't never switching. I'ma get this chicken. Crime pays, that's my way. Try to tell them, but they never listen. Fuck the ops, fuck the cops. I'ma make a millions with a Merry Christmas. I've been on it since Dipset. How they wanna get their lips wet. All these bitches used to try to swear me, now flexing on them with this pimp set. All I know is crime pays. I'ma get it one day. I'm cruising down the highway. All I know that crime pays. Get 'em on the five ways. I'm cruising down the highway. I'ma get it one day. All I know that crime pays. I'ma get it one day. I'm cruising down the highway. All I know that crime pays. Get 'em on the five ways. I'm cruising down the highway. I'ma get it one day. If I die before I wake, pray the Lord my soul to take. If I die before I wake, pray the Lord my soul to take. I can't sleep, these nightmares are real. Gotta keep both hands on the wheel.
Like Jesus, take the wheel. Hey, Zeus, what you doing? We cruising like we zoo animals. Let them fall. I don't give a fuck. We gonna kill all the bulls. Bullshit. Throw the ball at the wall. Let it bounce again. Let the money double up and flip and cook and count again. I am in excruciating pain. Excruciating. We're gonna deal with that in a minute, but I'm gonna smoke this thing first.
Been a long time coming, all my boys here, nobody's running. Came up from nothing, now ain't that something? Never had nothing but some guns and fun. With my home team, we don't got nothing. Fight for my team, I gotta give them something. As an OG, a life for nothing. Bitterness and pain, ain't that something? To all my haters, I'll be coming. West Side Warriors, nobody's running.
Nobody's running. So we chasing it down, you fucking clowns.
Bitch, you don't care about nothing. Bust your head, need the blood gushing. I get worse when my blood starts rushing. We still here, nobody's running. West Side Warriors, nobody's running. We still here, nobody's running. It's the West Side. Everybody's gunning, got big guns, and we ain't fronting. West Side Warriors, nobody's running. We still here, nobody's running. It's the West Side. Everybody's gunning, got big guns, and we ain't fronting. West Side Warriors, nobody's running.
Need some fucking heroin or something, man.
Shot him with the rounds, shot him in the face. Now he's hellbound, shooting at his homies, running out of rounds, talking that shit. You fucking little clowns. Every opponent got knocked to the ground. I give it 2 shots, you be knocked to the ground. We the heavy hitters, pound for pound. They can't stop us, we got rounds and rounds. Name bash you in the head, leave you underground. Party with the money that we went and found. Drinks up, all my boys be around. If you talk shit,
yeah, you're looking at this. You're not even paying attention to the coffee pot, right there. Pay attention. Pay attention to your pension.
Looking at the haters, all I see is frowns. Run my city, yeah, I run my town. If you get caught, don't make a sound. We're still here, nobody's running. It's the west side. Everybody's gunning, got big guns, and we ain't frontin'. West side warriors, nobody's running. We're still here, nobody's running. It's the west side. Everybody's gunning, got big guns, and we ain't frontin'. West side warriors, nobody's running.
Making involuntary sounds over there. Oh shit.
It's a Oklahoma.
Taps into it. Like if we're not trying, every time someone plays,
Please don't strike my account.
Everything is connected to the song. Yeah, it's weird.
Please don't strike my account. And if you do, I'll just pirate your shit worse.
What are you talking to me? Look at the price of the jeans. I got no time for a tease. Money is all that I read. I got my tricks on my sleeve. My bitch a bit of a freak. Yo, I just came out of the womb. Need to be speaking my truth. You never stepped in my shoes. Yo, I'm pulling up in a few. Niggas don't know what to do. I'm taking all of the loot. Whoa, I got my fear from the vein. We can be sipping all day. I got their blood in my veins. Yo, I got more gold on my chain. Nigga, I'm going insane. I'm taking all of the hate. I disappear like a ghost. I keep my ducks in a row. I keep that bitch on her toes. Whoa, when you step into my zone, give me a hit on my phone. I get it all for the low.
I get it off for the
Yo,
low.
pull up on your block, roll up easy, yo. Chillin' with the homies makes it easy, yo. I can sip on 40s, I can sip on this all night. I can sip on 40s, I can sip on this all night. Pull up on your block, roll up easy, yo. Chillin' with the homies makes it easy, yo. I can sip on 40s, I can sip on this all night, man. I can sip on 40s, I can sip on this all night. All night. Yeah. What are you talking to me? Look at the price of the jeans. I got no time for a tease. No time for a tease. Money is all that I breathe. I got my tricks on my sleeve. My bitch a bit of a freak. Yo, I just came out of the womb. Need to be speaking my truth. You never stepped in my shoes.
You never stepped in my shoes.
I'm pulling up in a few. Niggas don't know what to do.
Niggas don't know what to do. I can sip on 40s. I can sip on them all night. I don't know what's up next on this playlist, eh? No. There we go.
Angel dust to watch the angels fuss. I ain't got no trust, but the angels must. I'm for paper cold, they still playing on us. Run away, they come hard to playing on us. Watch my gator truck, you hater fuck. Even outside the restaurant,
They gotta wait on us.
Then we free, ain't no chains on us. C3 and new leaf, we so fucking dangerous.
Ain't no chains on us.
Kinda dangerous. I put my truck pit, that's where the bangers fuck. So we bomb on and you haters fuck. Yo, your potato didn't make your tater, but yeah, I'm still smoking on the angel dust. Not just promoting, I'm an angel, keep my handle up. Stay low,
I got time to burn, kid. I got time to learn. I ain't got time to earn. I learn I'm gonna be out here burning.
Like I'm rolling
The stake, give a fuck what it takes. I think you all fake. Like Drake at the bottom of the lake, a dead body.
Finger on the trigger when you hear noise. Don't come fuck with the fairy, boys. Won't get fucked from the fairy, boys. We the new chiefs, watch the women hang on us. Like I said, C3 a new leaf, we so dangerous. I smoke angel dust to watch the angels fuss. I ain't got no trust.
real phencyclidine is actually horse tranquilizer. I could use that right now. Oh, and I can get it legally too, eh? I have no idea what I can get my hands on legally, eh?
Oh, my mind is going through the changes. I'm only comfortable in the company of strangers. Tell you I'm an orphan after you meet my family. Half the time, even my family can't stand me. I'm a Martian, right? On a Martian flight. Just trying to find another Martian life. I fear I'll die alone, a stone on the deserted beach. No, I can teach, so I just do. And my mind is better than you, that makes me better than you. And I don't make the rules, so don't get pissed. Cause my life is fine, and you live in shitty. The natural law, only strong survive. And I don't just survive, I multiply. And I don't just fly right ahead and classify. So I'm at the clear port with the clear view. Can't see
Off and drugs and dinner again, that's cause I'm a sinner. I'm a fucking winner, I don't give a fuck if you like it or not. You're all gonna get fucking shot. Bought and sold at the market like a piece of old gold. Got a Dutch master, master blaster. Trading drama, I don't give a fuck if you understand. What is a llama? Smoke you like a camel, I don't give a fuck.
I'm sicker, a combination of symptoms that hit you quicker than liquor. I'm fitting to leave you all feeling like victims. Genocide on my mind, I'm thinking like Hitler. Ain't nobody like Osama. I'm rocking multi-generations as your mama. I'm a president, no Obama. Feed up, feed cut, roll the ganja. Mr. C3, no mystery, maybe history. See, sit a grip, take your pics of my dick and texting it to your chick. So sick, that's how I roll. Never such alone. Always got a couple hungry bitches begging for the bone, and your chick's begging at my phone, begging for a begging in her hole. I go deep like a mold, and I ain't fussy. I love all fushy. The angel rush me. I ain't got no trouble like the angels. The flavorful, they still plain on us. Run away, they come hard to plane on us. Watch my gator truck, you hater fuck. Even outside the restaurant, they gotta wait on us. Then we free, there's no chains on us. C3 and New Leaf, we so fucking dangerous. It's so fucking dangerous. It's so fucking dangerous.
Why didn't it skip?
Jump in the what? Yeah.
I don't know who owns that beat. Shit. Shit. I think I gotta scroll through like a few dozen of these, eh?
I do this for my SG, riding GZ Loki right behind the scene, get behind me, sipping on the gin. The hoes stay down when it's sticky on my niggas, riding with me, I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna talk for the night, wanna talk for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough, my nigga. For the dough, my nigga. Never want this shit to end. Do this for my SG, riding GZ Loki right behind the scene, get behind me, sipping on the gin. The hoes stay down when it's sticky on my niggas, riding with me, I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna talk for the night, wanna talk for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough,
I got a sound like this, my nigga ain't just this. Strap with the trap, they practice the same steps. I don't talk cause my closest niggas, they move left. Still mother used to post on the block and protest. Now what's next? All I see is money in my vision. Homie, I think bitches wanna spit me and them niggas different. We can never be the same niggas snitch, tryna blame it on niggas that wanna share. In the Gucci belt, niggas long back to my name is gon' hurt. When I'm 9 grades, connect to your brain, 2 stops to be better if you Sitting your lane, I'm in it for the dough, my nigga. Really don't for the dough. I got a pack of 4 cookies, a nigga tryna stunt that I leave him with a blow for the dough. You already know how it goes. Anything goes for the dough. For the dough, my nigga. I'ma have to get it in for the dough. I'm about to go and get it in. I do this for my SG, riding cheesy, low key right behind the CD, hit it behind me, sipping on the gin. The hoes stay down when it's sticky. All my niggas riding with me. I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna talk for the night, pour a talk for this light. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough, my nigga. For the dough, my nigga. Never want this shit to end. Do this for my SG, riding cheesy, low key right behind the CD, hit it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky. All my niggas riding with me. I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna fuck for the night, pour a cup for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough, I be taking risks. If I make a piece, another take all of my paper quick. Get 25 and they can tell me that I ain't the shit. I ain't the hustle pussy niggas to be playing with. I spray the fifth and I'm a SG. Nigga been a product for the last time. Vision, I don't see him getting money. That's my fetish. On my team stage, when it fuck niggas, we competitive. If I pour the top out, then anybody gon' get it. Say the word, then my nigga Joe's ready to slide. I'm ready back. Put your hoe about to get up inside. I always been a real nigga and I never behind. I used to work a 9 to 5, but it's better to grind. Getting high off the weed I smoke. I gotta keep the heat. Coach, you know I do my talk. Other shit I seen before niggas to leave you go. I told my nigga Teasy go, yeah, we just need some dough. For the dough, my nigga, I'ma have to get it in. For the dough, I'm about to go and get it in. I do this for my SG, riding shit, you know, keep it behind the CD, hit it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky, all my niggas riding with me. I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna talk for the night, pour a cup for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough, my nigga. For the dough, my nigga, never want this shit to end. Do this for my SG, riding cheesy, low key right behind the CD, hit it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky, all my niggas riding with me. I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna fuck for the night, pour a cup for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end.
I gotta start like this. Free my nigga Ox. Gun fingers for niggas who speak the cops. Man, I'm back on my bullshit. Never really gave a fuck out in 2 feet. And I never shoot a place with guns locked like they met, but they talk like the ladies punch. Laughing at your team like who the fuck got the Brady bunch. It's double keys, told the beat, but not the latest stuff. So I'm about to team, I'm really trying to get the people fuck. Be like two stone fucking rockets. People told me ain't the truth, man.
I'm the man,
but still under these skies. I ain't slept in how long. Can't you see the bags under my eyes? Like how I ain't living day. Used to crush a pack a day. Never smoked a cigarette, but now I smoke a pack a day. From the 6th grade, I've been scrapping with this game. Get wet, like a nigga that been trapping in the rain. I feel like old dog, like I'm trafficking the cane. No love, no heart, nigga. All I feel is pain. Nigga that ain't working my work, got no fuck. Think I'm gonna die, cause a nigga got no luck. When I was ready to ride, the niggas never showed up. Weight in my hands and the devil on my shoulder. Said I wouldn't stop, but I got shot with a cold rock. Brothers bitch in the streets, nigga, so what? Yo, I'm in the streets, nigga, so what? Rob my connect whenever the dope slows up. Yo, I'm in the streets, nigga, so what?
Rob my connect whenever the door slows up.
My nigga, I'ma have to get it in. For the door, I'm about to go and get it in. I do this for my SG, riding cheesy, low key right behind the CD, hit it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky, all my niggas riding with me. I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna talk for the night, pour a cup for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough, my nigga. For the dough, my nigga, never want this shit to end. Do this for my SG, riding cheesy, low key right behind the CD, hit it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky, all my niggas riding with me. I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna fuck for the night.
I don't know what I just did.
They tryna throw a gun on me, it's only allegations. If it was mine, it was in case they tried to run on me. 3 to 5 is what they asking, but I won't fight this late. Got a little daughter to raise, so I gotta fight the case. When I got that phone call, man, I couldn't talk to God. You an angel, I'm white in that wooden box. That's the vision I could never remove. And if I go, it's cause I'm dancing with the devil in the heavenly mood. That's like mixing water with oil and crippling with their blood in that. Fuck this game shit, I just really want my brother back. I want that joy put back in his mother's heart. I want them bullets reversed that hit his brother's heart.
Get on the last track.
Ratchet ahead and map in the ways. And we ain't friends, this ain't back in the days. 2017, I probably put the map to his face. Fuck these shows, I'm strapped back to back of the stage. I shoot it up and then I join the crowd. On my hit shit, while I'm running, disassemble it on some sick shit. Take the springs out so they won't shoot in ballistics. And that's how you get away with charges on some stick shit. Yeah, I was raised with the savages. Grew up with them savages, never ran in my temperature. I only sat back and stood tall. And this rap shit ain't the only way I put my hood on. Put my hood on with a black mask and a broken strap. Still bang 6 and dented whips when I hold hold it back. Why'd I hold it that in these streets? There ain't no holding back. Gotta move, needing the street, busting and older strap. I got 7 in that 5th, like my block number. 17 in the clip for my blockbusters. I ain't gotta wait for my team. This ain't no blockbuster. My young boy was 14 when he shot something. 15 in that Beretta he bust. I stay reppin'. I never changed my sweater in months. Even when I got knocked, nigga, I was reppin' the same. A week later, 10 bands just to get off the cage. Fake love, handshakes and hugs. There's 8 in the snub. That's 2 more than the 38 I gave to my cuz. And if you know me, you know that I've been real. Since a little you, I'm the block riding big wheels. But I'm a lot older on this block with the big steel. Peanut butter Glock left his brains on the windshield. Rock, paper, scissors, spin, kick like a windmill. 4-5 clip hang lower than the windshield.
They say crime pays, so I'm outside with a 9's wave. Dark clouds follow me everywhere I go. I'm hearing voices talking to me while I'm sleeping at night. Eyes open, can't move, get a person in sight. Premonitions and visions, you can see the red in my eyes like the red light underneath the black 45. How you got it done, but you ain't walking with it. It's like a pit bull locked in a cage. Truth through flesh when it bark after it bite. Flee the scene low key, quiet storm playing on the getaway. Roll a blunt to calm my nerves. Adrenaline still rushing through my veins. It was either me or him, so for that I couldn't complain. Simple message for you little niggas, better stay out the way. Test my arms, then I bear arms. It's only right I do you niggas like they did King, cause of hell that the red light. You try to reach, then I wheel it with the Mac. Broad day shooters, you know about us. In the West End, everybody heard about us. On the Master P, my niggas got about it. Like flame lit, niggas coming through the alley. Yellow tape on your strip, hella shells on the floor. That's how my niggas do it when it's time for the war. That's how my niggas do it when it's time for the war, nigga. Except for a TG, nigga. Fifth for the motherfucking grind, nigga. Slots one all day, nigga.
Oh, what's it doing? The fuck did it just do? What the fuck is it doing? The fuck just happened, yo? I didn't tell it to do any of that shit. I didn't tell it to do any of that shit. What just happened there? Come on, bed frame on the 404. Let's go.
Election. This was the 26th.
Excruciating News Time 901.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. How things looking, Kyle Hawking?
Oh, well, we have a mattress, so that's something. If you're traveling the northbound
I won! I fucking won!
Toronto International Boat Show, northbound Don Valley Parkway, just north of Bayview Bloor. We had a couple of traffic spotters reporting a mattress, mostly off to the left shoulder, but sort of poking into the left lane. Toronto Transportation has spotted something north of Bayview Bloor, and I see police on the scene, so maybe they're just protecting this mattress until Toronto Transportation themselves can get there, or hopefully they just slide it off to the side and then we get this left lane reopened. But as of right now, north DVP,
lane on that mattress? Like, what's the deal?
Left lane is blocked, it looks like, by a Toronto police cruiser because of this debris. So a bit of a delay building there, but it's pretty minor, this slowdown. As you travel the southbound 400 south of Aurora Road, 2 right lanes remain blocked for the collision. Crews here actually not bad through this area in terms of the speeds, just a very minor slowdown passing by that. And if you're traveling the remainder of the highways, no other collisions to report, but we do have a ramp closure coming in for construction. 407 ETR saying the northbound Young ramp to the westbound 407 will shortly be closed for overnight maintenance. The Toronto International Boat Show, North America's largest indoor boat show. We are summer, January 17th to 26th at the Intercare Center. Visit torontoboatshow.com. Your next report at 9:11, and with the forecast, here's Jason Fraser.
Now we're seeing mostly cloudy skies across the GTA. Some of us, though, right now are seeing either some light drizzle or just a few flakes, particularly over in the Brampton area. And this is slowly trying to make its way into downtown Toronto right now. Any accumulations will be light tonight. We're talking anywhere between a trace to upwards of possibly 2 centimeters. Our overnight low tonight is going to be closer to -1.
680 News Time, 9:03.
We have a breaking news from Midtown this hour. It's a pretty common fear for anyone who lives and works in a high-rise, and now a man is living it out. Toronto firefighters on the scene of a building on Bloor near Yonge after a man became trapped in an elevator just after 6:30. Crews now hoping to perform a daring rescue.
Captain David Ellerman tells 680 News he was in the elevator and there was a short free fall due to a broken elevator cable.
Yeah, but it'll stop.
We have determined that the best way to remove the gentleman from the elevator is by rappelling down from a fixed point above. We'll have to package him, harness him, and remove him
Why didn't you do that already?
To safety.
It don't take 2.5 hours.
Emergency crews are in contact with the man who is conscious. His injuries are not considered serious.
Job action January really ramping up. It'll be a strike central in the GTA starting Monday. We'll help you navigate when and where schools will be open next week in just a moment. But first, you should know the Ford government is offering parents searching for childcare some financial compensation.
The education minister says parents and their children should not be caught in the middle. They should be in class. Stephen Lecce calls the rising job action needless and is offering cash to help parents.
Up to $60 per day to offset the cost for childcare if strikes actually.
You're going to have to come up with
schools for school-based childcare centers.
Sam Hammond from the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario says the cash comes the day after two parents groups threw their support to teachers.
The Minister of Education in this province makes a blatantly, in a very transparent way, is trying to bribe parents to get their support.
If there is no deal by Friday, there will be no classes at public elementary schools in Toronto, York Region, and Ottawa on Monday. At Queen's Park, I'm Irene Precklett.
Nearly 12,000 parents have already signed up to qualify for some cash, but not everyone is comfortable with this proposal. 680's Mark Douglas
just announced this today or yesterday. How did you get 12,000
It's a mixed reaction from the moms, dads, aunts, uncles, and grandparents I've been talking to about this $60 per kid per strike day plan. A minority say, yes, it's a good idea.
Good for the government. Good for the government. You know, the teachers are being completely unreasonable. At least this helps the parents.
96,000, 100,000 a year. Just say 100,000 a year.
I don't think it's affordable. I don't think parents are in a position to get last-minute daycare, so that money might not be of good use.
Support for the teachers' various strike action plans has been split along the same political lines with the people I've been speaking with. If you're a parent and you want to apply for the compensation, find out how at 680news.com. In Etobicoke, I'm Mark Douglas.
Well, you may be finding it hard to keep track of who is striking and when, but 680's Cam Dort will set you straight.
I'll try and make this as easy to understand as I can. Tuesday is the big day. All English-speaking high schools in Toronto will be closed as both the OSSTF and ELECTA launch a one-day strike. That also means all English-speaking Catholic schools across the province will be closed from kindergarten to grade 12. There is some good news for high school students and parents worried about midterms. OSSTF President Harvey Bishop says January 21st will be the last full walkout day until after exams. But considering that's the start of February for most schools, it's not exactly a lot of time. Now, if you have young kids, you also need to worry about this coming Monday. That's because the ETFO is launching rotating strikes in Toronto and York Region. Make sure to check with your school board and get full details on 680news.com. I'm Cam Doris.
A University of Toronto professor is snapping back after receiving criticism for what he was asking students to do so that they could get a better grade in his class. Here's 680's Stuart McGinn.
In what he called participation marks, Professor Mitchell Huynh says his students would get an extra 5% added to their grade if they bought his book and connected with him on Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
The mindset behind that is students need to engage, students need to get used to the course material. And have that on hand.
Huynh says his book, Dumb Money, is a textbook for the course. It sells for the fraction of the price of a traditional class textbook, while he adds a free gift doesn't actually impart any value on the one receiving it, And he has this response to any critics of his decision.
If they were to take my course, they would understand what we're trying to do. And so none of the critics are my students.
The school says they're gathering information on this situation, and Nguyen saying they're now looking at other options regarding participation marks, but he says all the money used to buy his book will be donated to Australia to help with wildfire relief efforts. I'm Stuart McGinn.
Could a new piece of information help Toronto police solve the murders of billionaire philanthropists Barry and Honey Sherman? 680's Bill Martino joins us with
Russian
more on the
guys that you can't
now in its
extradite.
third
That's what
year.
you told
The
us.
bodies of Barry and Honey Sherman were found in their Toronto mansion on Friday, December 15th of 2017. Toronto police say they were killed within hours of arriving home. Homicide Inspector Hank Idzinga confirms to 680 News after considering a number of factors that were uncovered during the investigation. His detectives have determined the Shermans were murdered on the Wednesday. Their bodies were found 2 days later. The inspector would not reveal what the factors are that have allowed police and forensic officers to pinpoint the time of death. The Shermans' bodies were discovered by a real estate agent. Their home was for sale at the time. I'm Phil Martino.
Coming up in 30 seconds, we'll check on the price of the pumps.
680 News Time, 909. This
$5 billion from the real drug dealers. Apotex.
Maybe you don't know where to start.
APO hydromorphone by Apotex.
What if we
The
told you that
fucking
maybe
deep tattoo they're talking about. It's only
simple
$2.
conversation can spark something amazing. Your savings and investments can stand for so
I
much
don't have
more
any more.
when they don't stand still. And Scotiabank can help every step of the way. Energize your investing. You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
Now the 680 News gas price update and pro predicting the price of gas not going to change at midnight, holding at $1.15.9 a liter at most GTA stations.
680 News Time, 910. Eat well, live better. Hi, I'm Miranda Malasani, spokesperson at Nature's Emporium. 100% certified organic produce, fresh made meals daily, and smart options down every aisle. From nutrient-dense to allergy-friendly to eco-conscious. Nature's Emporium is home to Giuseppe's Juice Bar and Bistro. Plus, we offer clean cosmetics, York and Halton region's largest selection of nutraceuticals, and a team of health professionals in all 4 locations. Visit today, naturesemporium.com.
During winter, some hibernate, but Nissan Winter Warriors revel in fresh snow, thrive on steep slopes, and taking in everything winter has to offer.
I'm a sucker for you.
If you love winter like we do, get down to the Winter Warriors sales event at Nissan and
Winter
finance a
Warriors.
Row special edition from 0% for up to 84 months. Hurry, offer ends January 31st. Visit choosenissan.ca or your Nissan dealer. Conditions apply.
I'm a sucker for you.
680 News Time, 911.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Kyle Hawker.
This report is brought to you by Alterna Savings. Another update to this ongoing mattress saga on the DVP northbound. Everything has now been cleared north of Bayview Bloor. We had police arrive, block off the left lane, and then drag the mattress over onto the right shoulder. And then shortly after that, Toronto Transportation arrived, blocked off the right lane, picked up the mattress, and now they've left the scene. Delay is pretty well gone in that area. So now we're up to speed, both info-wise and speed-wise, on what's going on the DVP northbound. We had a collision as well, southbound on the 400, south of Aurora Road. Lane restrictions there lifted. Collision has been cleared. Not much of a delay left in that area either. If you're traveling along the remainder of the highways, a pretty quiet drive. Ramp closure for overnight construction. It's affecting the 407. The northbound 407, the northbound Yonge Street ramp to the westbound 407 closed for construction. Off the highways in Stouffville, 9th line remains closed. Bloomington to Aurora Road, that's for a construction project as well, but it should wrap up and reopen around 11 o'clock this evening. Saving for retirement doesn't have to be scary. Talk to an advisor at Alterna Savings about the best plan for you. Visit alterna.ca to book an appointment. Alterna Savings, discover the good in banking. Your next report at 9:21, and with the forecast, here's Jason Fraser.
Well, right now, just to the outskirts of downtown Toronto, right now, we're just seeing some brief, or I'll just call it some light showers, as well as some snow flurries. Not expecting any major accumulation with this system. Maybe some areas across the GTA might see just a centimeter or two, but many of you will see temperatures, though, dip down to below freezing. And one of the other things you're going to notice in the overnight hours are these winds are going to start really gusting up to about 40 kilometers per hour to tomorrow, they could even gust up to 50 kilometers per hour, and that's going to make the real field temperatures closer to around -13, even though we're going to have a high temperature around of -1. Coming up in less than 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you about a major storm that's going to be heading our way for the weekend. Right now at Pearson, it's 2 degrees. Our overnight low is -1.
680 News Time 9:13.
Well, despite not having a leader, a new poll suggests voters still like the provincial Liberals better than Doug Ford's Conservatives. According to a Polaris Strategic Insights, the so-called leaderless Liberals are 4 points ahead of the PCs, sitting at 33%. Right now, Ontario's Reds are being led by interim leader John Fraser. The NDP sits right behind the PCs at 27%, while the Greens are sitting with just 9%. Remember, 680 News is the only Toronto radio station with a weather guarantee. Our jackpot for today, $12,400 for your chance at the cash. Head to 680news.com/contests. Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll recap your top stories.
680 News Time 9:14.
When Mark Mendelson and Babe Blue Radio joined forces with 680 News over 25 years ago, it was the start of a beautiful relationship.
We've been advertising on 680 News since the very beginning. Radio is the best vehicle for advertising long-term to a client base who will buy when they're ready to buy. And we're a long-term business, so we love long-term results.
Vendors love those results too.
Whenever we talk to a vendor about co-op advertising, they say, oh, please advertise on 680 News. And that's because the CEOs of these companies I'm dealing with are listening to this radio station all the time, and all their friends are. And the reason 680 works is because it's foreground radio. When people are actually listening to 680 News, they're actually listening.
And what you say to those listeners has shaped how they see the Babe Blue Radio brand.
Radio gives you your personality.
I bet these guys can get you an AM radio.
Do over a long period of time on 680 News.
It sounds like it's working.
Well, we're still here after 73 years.
Get 680 News working for you. Call 416-935-NEWS.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. Partly cloudy, 3 degrees in downtown Toronto. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Scott Burnett.
And I'm Caitlin Later. The top stories this hour.
It was a scene right out of a thrilling action movie playing out Midtown. A man trapped in an elevator near Yonge and Bloor suffering leg injuries. Crews attempted to rescue, but the elevator then went into a brief free fall. They then rappelled down from several floors, picked him up and brought him to safety. The man's injuries not considered serious.
Plenty of job action from Ontario teachers in the coming days and weeks.
He's not live tweeting from the elevator or something? What the fuck? I guess maybe he don't get reception.
Compensation for parents of kids who will need child care. Up to $60 per child per day if you qualify. Barring a deal by Friday, you could expect public elementary school classes in Toronto, York Region, and Ottawa to be canceled on Monday.
The father of wrestling icon turned Hollywood star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and a star of the wrestling ring himself, Rocky Johnson, has died at the age of 75. He made his pro wrestling debut right here in Southern Ontario and was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2008.
They won't say South Central Ontario. They'll say Southern Ontario. Be more specific, because it's a wide fucking province.
Now 680 Sports from Sports at 590 Van County.
Thanks, Scott. The Raptors are all over OKC right now.
4.5 to play in the second. OKC will be battling to dig out of this hole. Siakam for 3. And the Raptors are playing with confidence on every level right now.
And what you couldn't hear there was Siakam drilling the 3 of his 13 points in the first half. The Raptors lead the Thunder 73-55 at halftime. Happening now in the NHL, the Blackhawks lead Montreal 3-1 late in the second period on Sportsnet. And St. Louis is up on Philly 1-0 early in the second period. Meantime, the Vegas Golden Knights have fired head coach Gerard Gallant under 2 years after leading them to the Stanley Cup final. The role will be taken over by Pete DeBoer, who was fired last month by the San Jose Sharks. Sports 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid, now on radio and TV. Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
680 News Time, 9:17, and 680 Sports brought to you by Bodog.net.
A wise man once said to treat your body like a temple. But what did he say about the temple you call home? Just like your body, only the best will do for your home. And Appliance Canada brings you premium and ultra-premium brands with the quality and craftsmanship you'd expect from the top names. Sub-Zero, Wolf, Thermador, Miele, Gaggenau, Heston, and more. Backed by highly trained associates eager to help. Upgrade with Appliance Canada. Find a showroom in Toronto, Vaughan, or Mississauga at appliancecanada.com.
Every day, Canadians are buying homes and getting the wrong mortgage rates. Important announcement. If you
Have a mortgage closing in the next 60 days. 2.38% 5-year fixed mortgage rates are available at butlermortgage.ca. No matter what you were told or what you signed, you can still switch to 2.38% 5-year fixed. No gimmicks, no fees. Standard mortgages at 2.38% 5-year fixed. To learn if you qualify, go to butlermortgage.ca now.
License number 12118. High ratio fixed rate. APR 2.39%. 680 News Time, 9:18. A man familiar to Canadian politics throwing his name in the ring to replace Andrew Scheer as the Canadian Conservative leader.
A tweet confirms Peter MacKay's intentions. He's already reportedly put together a group of movers and shakers to help, including Michael Diamond. He's the man who ran Ontario Premier Doug Ford's PC leader campaign in 2018. Diamond will be Director of Communications. MacKay has a history with the Conservative Party. He helped create it, merging the Progressive Conservative Party with the Canadian Alliance in 2003.
Remember
MacKay
that?
and MP Marilyn Gladu are the only candidates so far. But the ex-premier of Quebec, Jean Charest, may be considering a run, as well as Durham MP Erin O'Toole. I'm Charlene Close.
Federal Transport Minister Marc Garneau says 2 Canadian Transportation Safety Board investigators in Iran are getting good cooperation. The 2 are part of an international team probing the shooting down of a Ukrainian Airlines flight. Garneau says the Foreign Affairs
You
Minister
got somebody in a fucking dungeon over this yet? Like, seriously.
Coordination and Response Group for Families of Victims of Flight PS-752.
It is the purpose of this meeting to establish very, very clearly how we will work together internationally to ensure that we answer all of the questions that have to be answered here, and that we then speak with the Iranians to let them know exactly what has to happen.
The crash killing all 176 people on board, including 57 Canadians and 82 Iranians. The judge in Harvey Weinstein's rape trial in New York is warning members of the jury pool no tweeting about the case.
Judge James Burke says he was alerted some prospective jurors went on Twitter and Facebook after he said
That's a good way to get kicked off.
The latest batch, we're told, jury post amount to contempt of court, which could mean up to 30 days in jail. Weinstein's lawyers brought up some examples.
You give them 30 days. Isn't this guy out on bail?
Leveraging serving on the jury of a high-profile case to
Give
promote
us
a
all
bookie
30
room.
days,
Another
motherfucker.
used a
Rack up
laughing
that bill,
emoji when asked
motherfucker.
if she'd been picked. One
Let's
social
drain that
media
money out
star,
of your
supermodel
economy
Gigi
somehow.
Hadid, was in the Weinstein pool. Both sides have agreed someone with more than 50 million Instagram followers on the jury would create too much of a commotion. I'm Ed Donahue.
680 News Time at 9:20.
Good. Everybody subscribe and share and shit so I don't get fucking sucked into jury duty. Is that all I gotta do? Not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. Like, I don't care what they do. Ah, fuck, you can't do that.
Donate online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and
This
easy.
depends
You'll
what the
benefit a
charge is.
child and get a maximum tax credit.
Drug or property crime, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty.
Also accepting boats, motorcycles, RVs, and truck donations.
Because I know how the cops do things. They don't go after the fucking person that did it. They go after the person they can catch.
Heated steering wheels and fully promote standards. Don't fear winter, love it. From the warmth of a new Hyundai. During Mississauga and Rexdale Hyundai's I Heart Winter event, enjoy no charge all-wheel drive or don't pay for 90 days on select models. Plus, existing owners get up to $750 in loyalty incentives.
Get the super deal from the Superfan now.
Visit MississaugaHyundai.com and RexdaleHyundai.ca.
680 News Time, 9:21.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawking.
This report is brought to you by 407 ETR. We have a new problem on the eastbound 401 east of Islington in the Express. Looks like a stolen vehicle on the shoulder. Police have just rolled up. They're blocking off the right lane, so minor delay through here. We have a tow truck already on the scene. I believe it's a flatbed tow, and this vehicle is just in the process of being put up on the back. So
It ain't
we'll be
humid
too
in here. I
long.
don't
This
fucking
is your,
get it.
again, East 401
It
east
don't
of
come on all day
Islington
till
in
I
the
put
Express.
this on.
Right lane blocked. Minor delay through this area. Remainder of the eastbound 401 is in good shape, though. No problems to report on the westbound 401. Speeds look good.
You
Into
watching
and out of
this to get your
downtown,
traffic.
Gardner and Don Valley
You drive.
Parkway
You
now.
should be driving.
The only
Don't
other
worry
thing
about
worth mentioning on the highways is northbound Yonge Street, the ramp to the westbound 407 is closed. And that's due to overnight construction. Off the highways, a couple of lengthy closures here. We have Sherburne blocked north of Bloor up to Ancroft, and that's for bridge repairs. And this was originally reported as just a short-term closure, but I was just looking for an update. It's going to be until the middle, actually the end of June, before this section of Sherburne north of Bloor reopens. Also, we have in Stouffville a short-term closure here, 9-line closed from Bloomington to Aurora Road, and that's for construction road repairs there, but it should be wrapping up and reopening at about 11 o'clock tonight. 407 ETR saves drivers 30 million hours of time each year, giving you more time for the things that matter most to you. Visit 407etr.com. Your next report at 9:31, and with the extended forecast, here's Jason Fraser.
Mostly cloudy right now across the GTA, just seeing just a few light flurries over in the Mississauga area. Matter of fact, I think that by the time it gets to the ground, it's actually evaporating. What's going to end up happening is some of you may end up seeing some wet flurries hit the ground, and we're not expecting any major accumulations, maybe about a trace to about 2 centimeters. Overnight, we're going to stay below the freezing mark. Tomorrow, we'll be waking up to mostly cloudy skies along with some flurries, but again, not expecting a lot in terms of snowfall, maybe upwards of 2 centimeters. It will, however, be breezy, and that will make sure that the wind chills feel closer to -13 by the afternoon, even though the air temperature is going to be around -1. Now, for Friday, lots of sunshine, but very cold. We're going to be waking up to wind chills around -21, high temperature on Friday of -8, and then Saturday is going to be the big weather day, as we'll see a massive storm that's going to dump not only some rain showers, but also some snow and possibly some ice pellets. High then of only +3 degrees. Right now in Pearson, it's +2. Our overnight low is -1.
Coming up at 9:30, making sense of all this job action by Ontario school boards. We'll have the details for you straight ahead.
680 News Time, 9:24.
A new series on CBC. These are the 3 Marines you killed last night. So today, belong to me. I'm being arrested. Depends on what? On me. A soldier makes a deadly mistake, and his only hope for freedom is to become a spy. I want the good people of Canada to be afraid of activists and draft dodgers. Earn their trust. When this is over, I'm done with you. Yeah, but will I be done with you? Fortunate son. New episode, Wednesday at 9 on CBC and CBC Gem. The weather outside is frightful, but the 680 News Extreme Weather Center makes coping with the storm slightly more delightful.
School closures, road conditions, and when the storm will end.
The 680 News Extreme Weather Center has you covered.
Brought to you by Subaru, confidence in motion, and Air Transat, vacation is calling.
Exclusively on 680 News and 680news.com.
This is segment brought to you by Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. In 60 seconds, the business report with Richard Southern.
680 News Time, 9:25.
Listen up. Lazy Boy is completely overstocked and they need to move furniture fast. It's music to my ears. I hear there's crazy amounts of everything in the store. They're so desperate to move inventory and make room for all their new items that everything's priced to go. Hurry. Once it's gone, it's
How
gone.
could the people at Lazy Boy be desperate to move anything? I want to walk in the store and see all the employees sitting down. That's what I want to see.
Off at 9 GTA stores plus Kitchener.
It's a Lazy Boy store. What could you fucking possibly do there?
Living with Alzheimer's disease. How can you help? You can help by creating a team with friends, family, or coworkers and fundraising together for the 30th IG Wealth Management Walk for Memories in support of the Alzheimer's Society. On Saturday, February 1st, join the largest indoor walk in support of Alzheimer's disease in Toronto. Visit walk.alz.to for more information and to register. That's walk.alz.to.
All these people say they're going to kill me. Where the fuck are they now, eh?
We walk.
Pussy all.
9:26.
Good evening. You can bet on a lot more than just sports. You can put your money on politics should you choose to take a gamble. And the bookmakers, they only care about making money. So it's interesting to follow the money and see who they think will be elected next. The bookies have just moved Trump to his best odds yet to get re-elected as president of the United States. Trump is now what they call an odds-on favorite, meaning he's so heavily favored by the public that the odds are less than even. Trump's a -145, meaning you need to bet $145 on him just to win 100. There's a big difference between him and the next favorite to win.
Negative numbers. Holy fuck.
Joe Biden just behind him. The bookies have Michael Bloomberg 12-1 ahead of Elizabeth Warren at 18-1. Outsiders Hillary Clinton a 40-1 shot and Michelle Obama 150-1. Right, meantime, stunning stat from across the pond tonight. Brexit
will soon cost the UK more than all the payments it's ever made to the EU. Analysis at Bloomberg finds that Brexit is likely to have cost the UK more than £200 billion in lost economic growth by the end of this year, a figure that almost eclipses the total amount the UK has paid towards the EU budget over the past 47 years. Of course, the UK set to officially exit the EU at the end of the month. Landmark day on the markets. Dow Jones Industrial Average closed above 29,000 for the first time ever, up 90 to 29,030 as the U.S. and China signed their Phase 1 trade deal. S&P up 6, NASDAQ up 7. Record for the TSX. It gained 62 points to 17,415. Cannabis stocks among the big winners today. Aurora up 15% to $2.69. Price for gold up $1,554. The loonie at 76.67 cents U.S. This is 680 News.
I'm Scott McGilvery. Selling a home can be complicated. In Toronto, I trust Frank Leo to get your top dollar.
I don't understand how these cannabis companies are losing money.
If you can't sell your house at a price and deadline you agree to, he'll buy it. Go to getleo.com
people are
today.
buying it.
That's
Some people are buying
it. And start packing.
My group of people don't want to buy it, but people are buying it. So how the fuck are they losing money?
Oh, and pick up the kids on time.
What about snorkeling? Flying trapeze, water skiing, and fine dining?
I'd love that, but it takes so much planning.
All you have to do is relax, honey. It's all included at Club Med.
I'm already unwinding.
Let's upgrade our New Year's resolutions. 7-night air-inclusive, starting at $16.49 per adult. Book by January 15th with your travel professional or at clubmed.ca. If you want the most money for your home in Toronto, I trust the #1 RE/MAX agent in the world, Frank Leo, and his home sale guarantee. I'm Scott McGilvery. Selling a home doesn't have to be complicated. Go to getleo.com today. That's getleo.com and start packing. It's time for the 680 News Business Travelers Forecast, brought to you by Queen Smith MBA in Toronto. Earn your MBA from Queen Smith School of Business right here in Toronto. Find out more at smithmbaintoronto.com.
Vancouver, where the snow is falling, mostly cloudy tomorrow, 0 degrees. Calgary, foggy and -25. Ottawa, partly cloudy, -13. Weber and Halifax, light snow and -3. This is CFTR 680 News at 9:30.
#1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Where y'all gonna buy a snow shovel? Ha ha.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, January 15th.
Here's what's making news this hour.
As job action escalates at 4 different school unions next week, the government is offering up cash for parents scrambling for childcare.
A dramatic rescue in Midtown at a high-rise after a man stepped onto an elevator and one of the cables snapped.
A strange way to hand out participation marks. That's how some people are responding to course requirements outlined by one University of Toronto professor.
There is an update in the Barry and Honey Sherman murder case. Police say they were killed within hours of arriving home. Their bodies were found 2 days later.
The Raptors are putting away the Thunder in OKC and on the ice in Montreal. Chicago has a healthy lead after 2 periods. Sports at 45.
Comfy for passengers and for the airlines. Bottom line, we're taking a look at the newest jets Air Canada is going to take to the skies. And a record high altitude on Wall Street. The Dow closes above 29K. Business at 56.
9:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by Mandarin. Just caught sight of a new problem on it's affecting the eastbound 401 and also one of our city streets. Eastbound 401 ramp to eastbound Dixon Road. We have that ramp blocked. If you're familiar with the ramp, it's the eastbound 401 ramp to Dixon, which is open. But when you get to the end of it, it splits so that you can go either westbound on Dixon or eastbound. It's that access to eastbound Dixon that's currently blocked with a collision. Emergency crews are on scene. The collision actually happened on Dixon Road itself. So in this area, we've also got eastbound Dixon down to a single lane just east of the 401, and that's for the same collision cleanup here. Again, we have emergency crews on scene. Had a problem east of this point, east of Islington in the Express. That problem's now clear. Delay's gone there, but just note that access East 401 ramp to eastbound Dixon. blocked with the collision. Only other issue affecting our highways is the northbound Yonge Street ramp to the westbound 407, which is closed for an overnight construction project. And if you're off the highways, again, I mentioned that eastbound Dixon east of the 401 down to a single lane. Also have Sherburne closed north of Bloor for bridge repairs, and in Stouffville, 9th line remains closed from Bloomington to Aurora Road. That's also for a construction project, but should be wrapping up in about an hour and a half. Mandarin makes it easy for you. Fast, freshly prepared takeout or delivery. Visit MandarinRestaurant.com for takeout menu and delivery areas, and make it Mandarin to go. Your next report at 9:41, and with the forecast, here's Jason Fraser.
Most likely across the GTA, it's pretty much going to stay that way for the rest of tonight. One or two of us could see a quick flurry across the region. We'll see the winds also start to kick up overnight. We could see some winds gusting near 40 kilometers per hour, and we'll see a low temperature below freezing. Right now in downtown Toronto, it is +3 degrees. Our overnight low is -1.
680 News Time, 9:33.
Well, as Job Action January ramps up next week, the province is offering to supplement your child care costs during strikes and walkouts. You can see if you qualify at 680news.com.
680's Irene Preckler takes a look.
Parents are getting cash for their troubles. Education Minister Stephen Lecce says up to $60 a day per kid for those affected by the rotating teachers' strikes.
But we actually believe that we would not be here today if the teacher unions and their leadership did not decide to walk out on students on a weekly basis. And this is now becoming more present and more common.
Sam Hammond, the president of the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario, says what the government should be doing is putting more money back into education.
How appalling that is. How insulting to parents in this province that he's trying to transparently bribe them for support.
If no deal is
He's
reached
sending
between
out checks.
EPCO and
This
the
guy's
province
sending
by
out checks for
Friday, there will be
$60.
a
Who's
one-day strike
driving home?
Monday in Toronto, York Region, and Ottawa. At Queen's Park, I'm Irene Precklet.
The
Still haven't
province
paid the
says
winner
about
stoked,
12,000 parents have already signed up for financial compensation, but not everyone is happy about this offer.
This is proving to be a very divisive issue, but that's hardly surprising. I'm hearing very little common public opinion out here about teachers on strike or about this $60 per child compensation plan from the Doug Ford government. Most moms and dads I've met do not support the plan.
What's that going to do, the $60? It's nothing. Parents have to take the day off. It's the stress.
But some people I've spoken with say the compensation is worthwhile.
It helps the parents. It helps offset their costs. And the government is saving that anyways because they don't pay them when they go out on strike.
If you're a parent and you want to apply for the compensation, you can find out how at 680news.com. In Etobicoke, I'm Mark Douglas.
All the strikes and walkouts planned for next week aren't all province-wide, so 680's Cam Dort joins us with which school boards will be affected and when.
Here's hoping you don't have different kids in different school boards, because it's not easy to follow along, but here we go. This Monday, parents of any young children in Toronto or York Region need to make arrangements because the ETFO is staging a strike. Then on Tuesday, not a single English-speaking public high school in Toronto will be open as the OSSTF and ELECTA walk off the job. OSSTF President Harvey Bishop says it will be the last strike before midterm, so students can still focus on their exams. Not a lot of time, considering most second semesters start in early February. Now, keep in mind, ELECTA represents English Catholic teachers right from kindergarten to grade 12, so young Catholic students will also need different plans on the Tuesday. For the latest information, keep checking in with 680 News or head to our website. I'm Cam Dornitz.
680 News Time, 9:36. Some scary moments for a man stuck inside of an elevator at a high-rise building in Yorkville tonight. Toronto Fire Captain David Eckerman tells 680 News fire crews were called to the Yonge and Bloor area after a malfunction caused the elevator to fall a short distance.
An elevator that he was in was in a short free fall. As we've come to learn, it's due to a broken hoistway.
The call came in around 6:45 this evening. The man was rescued around 9 o'clock. Firefighters had to rappel down the elevator shaft to reach him. The man suffered injuries to his leg.
A University of Toronto professor is being criticized for how he's encouraging his students to receive participation marks. 680 Stuart begin with the story.
If they buy his book and connect with him across all his social media channels, it's easy. They get an extra 5%.
I have access to myself, my network through social media and all those networks there. as well as my teaching through my content.
Professor Mitchell Quinn says his book, Dumb Money, is a textbook for the course, and there's a reason he won't just give it away.
When we receive something for free, it doesn't impart any value to the people receiving it.
But the effort might be short-lived. Quinn says he's been contacted by the school about exploring different options for students to receive their participation marks. He is offering, though, to donate all the funds from the book sales to wildfire relief efforts in Australia. I'm Stuart McGinn.
But if they get shit for free, they're not going to value it. Hold on a second. What are you talking about?
Billionaire philanthropist Barry and Honey Sherman, 680's Phil Martino has
Billionaire
details.
drug
Over 2
dealer.
years after their deaths, Toronto police are now saying Barry and Honey Sherman were murdered within hours of arriving home.
Organized
Homicide
crime,
Inspector
murder
Hank
capital.
Itzinga confirms to
Anybody
680
could
News
get it.
after considering a number of factors that were uncovered during the
Random
investigation. His detectives have determined the Shermans were murdered on the Wednesday. Their bodies were not found until 2 days later, on Friday, December 15th of 2017. He would not reveal what the factors are that have allowed forensic officers to pinpoint the time of death. The inspector says revealing detailed information about the case would jeopardize the homicide investigation, now into its third year. Barry Sherman founded Toronto-based Apotex in 1974. I'm Phil Martino.
Fire crews still at the scene of a house fire near the QEW
What a time to get into the drug
Mississauga
business.
Fire saying they were called to the scene near Tecumseh Park Drive and Indian Road to fight a garage fire, which quickly spread to the home.
Dark side of Indian Road.
And they were able to self-evacuate the smoke alarms that triggered the house and alerted them to the fire. So this is why we tell people that they need to have working smoke alarms in their home.
Nearby homes were evacuated as a precaution. No injuries have been reported.
And Danforth's PC is less popular than the party without a leader. New numbers from Valero Strategic Insights show the Liberal Party, currently led by interim leader John Fraser, is leading the charge with 33% support across the province. For Conservatives coming in a close second at 29%. While the NDP are right behind at 27%. There's still plenty of time for things to change, however, as the next vote in Ontario is not until June of 2022. In 30 seconds, we'll check the prices at the pump.
680 News Time, 9:39.
The NHL's biggest names and brightest stars converge in St. Louis for All-Star Weekend Sportsnet, where speedsters set the pace. Slappers bring the heat, and riskers hit the mark. On Saturday, it's 3-on-3, where anything can happen. On Sportsnet, snipers who can't miss, goalies who flash loud, and must-see moments that'll make you go. The 2020 Honda NHL All-Star Weekend, January 24th and 25th on Sportsnet.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Enbro predicts the price will not change at midnight. It will hold at $1.15.9 a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather is next.
680 News Time, 9:40.
Some live to ski, others ski to live. Introducing Bluemont, Blue Mountain Chalet living on 60-foot executive lots. Steps from the mountain. A lifetime of memories awaits you and your family. Chalets from $890,000. For more information or directions to our sales office, visit
I can't imagine what it would be like to live there.
The Ontario Federation of Snowmobile
I don't think I'm
wants to
coming.
take this opportunity to thank the many snowmobilers who participated in last year's Try Our Trails program. The program has been discontinued for 2020, but you can still ride the trails with an appropriate 2020 Ontario Snowmobile Trail permit. For more details about other programs and special events offered by the Ontario Federation of Snowmobile Clubs or to volunteer with a club, visit ofsc.on.ca. That's ofsc.on.ca.
680 News Time, 9:41.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here is Kyle Hawking.
This report is brought to you by the Greater Toronto Airports Authority. If you're traveling eastbound 401, we have a couple of issues now. First of all, eastbound 401 ramp to eastbound Dixon Road is currently blocked. This is one of those ramps that splits. So as you get to the end of it, East 401 ramp to Dixon splits to go eastbound or westbound. It's just the ramp to eastbound Dixon Road that is blocked. As you get to the end of the ramp, you're forced to westbound Dixon, unfortunately. So because of a collision on Dixon Road itself, This has eastbound Dixon down to a single lane just east of the 401 for collision cleanup. Crews are on the scene. Dixon pretty lightly traveled through here, so it's not causing a major jam up. Further along, the eastbound 401 seeing a new problem east of Port Union in the express. MTO crews blocking the right lane. There's a stolen vehicle off to the bullnose here, so it's being hooked up to a tow truck right now. No delays through this area, though, but note the lane restriction. That's East 401 east to Port Union in the express, right lane blocked. As you travel the northbound section of Yonge Street, heading for the 407, northbound Yonge ramp to the westbound 407, currently closed for overnight construction. That does it for problems on your highways. No other delays not mentioned either.
Yeah, that's the
Was
one.
updating this issue in Stillville. Road repairs on 9th line between Bloomington and Aurora Road have been finished for some time now, so that section of the road is already open. So you travel through there, no delays, of course. We have a collision now reported by Toronto Fire at Carlaw and Eastern in Leslieville, so that intersection a little bit slow because of that. Tired of Toronto's traffic congestion? The proposed Union Station West Transit Hub at Pearson will let you bypass downtown traffic on new transit lines. Details at unionstationwest.ca. Your next report at 9:51, and with the forecast, here's Jason Fraser.
Mostly cloudy right now across the GTA. Overnight, some of us could see a few flurries and possibly upwards of about 1 to 2 centimeters of snow. And we could also end up seeing the winds pick up as well, gusting to about 40 kilometers per hour. We'll see the low temperature below the freezing mark. And for tomorrow, many of us will be waking up to mostly cloudy skies. Some flurries possible during the day, but not much accumulation is expected. Maybe about another 1 to 2 centimeters possible. But because of the winds gusting up to 50 kilometers per hour, we could see wind chills by the afternoon closer to minus 13. Our high temperature tomorrow will be -1. Right now at Pearson, it's +2 degrees. Our overnight low is -1.
680 News Time, 9:44.
One radio station can work wonders for your business, but 2 stations can put you in a different league. Sarah Hugel, second-generation owner of Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries.
We've been working with CHFI for over a decade, and our account manager suggested that maybe we add 680 News into the mix, and we've seen great results through adding that extra demographic. The importance of having both stations, for us, we feel it is best for our business, and it gets people through the door.
So you rely on your CHFI and 680 News account managers to play a key role in your marketing campaigns.
We have a great working relationship. We do absolutely trust their judgment in providing advice for us, as well as future strategies for advertising potentially on digital and other opportunities, and we collaborate really well to come up with the best possible plan for our business.
Sounds like they're part of the Lazy Boy team.
We're really looking forward to getting together again with our 680 News and CHFI account managers to have lunch together and maybe talk a little bit of business as well.
Get 680 News and 98.1 CHFI working for you. Call 416-935-NEWS. This is all News Radio, 680 News.
It's partly cloudy and 3 degrees. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Caitlin Lee.
I'm Scott Burnett here. The top stories this hour.
As 4 school boards ramp up job action next week, the Ford government is offering up to $60 compensation for parents looking for childcare, but not all parents like the idea. And an ETFO spokesperson is accusing the province of bribing parents to get them on their side. A scare for a man at a Yorkville high-rise. Firefighters had to rappel down an elevator shaft to rescue him after he got on and the elevator free fell for a short time. Officials believe some sort of cable snapped. The man is now safe, but he has some injuries to his leg. It could be a key piece of information in the investigation. Toronto police say they now know when billionaires Honey and Barry Sherman were killed. The murders have gone unsolved for over 2 years. Now time for 680 Sports, brought to you by the Toronto International Boat Show. From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Calamine.
Thanks, Caitlin. The Raptors were doing well in Oklahoma City. However, OKC coming back a little bit. It is the Raptors by 8 late in the third quarter to the ice. The Leafs host the Calgary Flames tomorrow night, and Austin Matthews is happy to be getting more minutes.
Especially early on, you feel the puck, a couple shifts, get some good chances, some good looks, and you got good legs and you're feeling it. I think Sheldon has a good idea of when that's happening, when that's not. When it is, getting us out there, or JT's line out there more, and guys are feeling it and try to obviously benefit from that.
Happening now in the NHL, the Blackhawks leading Montreal 3-1 early in the third period. The Flyers are ahead of St. Louis 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. And the Vegas Golden Knights fired head coach Gerard Gallant. His replacement is Pete DeBoer, who lost his job in San Jose last month. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid, now on radio and TV. Sportsnet 590. The Fan.
Fuck out. This
We got summer. Are you ready? Are you ready?
It's coming soon. North
They
America's
won't write up
largest
the
indoor boat
script
show.
for me unless I go to the ER. So I have to go when I'm in fucking pain and shit. It don't make no fucking
The Toronto
sense.
International Boat Show, presented by
That's
the
not how they're
Toronto
supposed
Star,
to do it.
January 17th to
That's why they're doing
26th
it
at
for
the
me.
Enercare Center.
We
I can't fucking travel.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
The Toronto Boat Show.
Trying to get me to pay for the ambulance. Fuck. It says right on the bill I don't have to pay it. Why the fuck did you send it to me? How did it get on my collections? How the fuck did you do that? You don't own ambulances and you don't dispatch ambulances and you don't pay for an ambulance to show up. How the fuck are you charging me money? You say I don't have to pay and it's on my credit report.
Your savings and investments can stand for so much more when they don't stand still. And Scotiabank can help every
Fucking
step of the
bullshit.
way. Energize your
$2 for the
Your
fucking
return
painkiller.
Scotiabank.
680 News Time, 9:48. A hike to TTC student fares is on the way as part of Toronto's 2020 budget. Student leaders showed up outside City Hall today to speak out against the increase. Lucas Granger says by raising the monthly student fare, the city is punishing students.
So why does $5.70 matter? Because when put in comparison with everything else that's increasing, it jeopardizes our ability to live in the city and to even study here.
Some students say they're resorting to fare evasion to get by. Another familiar face has entered the race for the Conservative leadership. Here's 680 Charlene Close.
Peter MacKay has confirmed his plan with a tweet. It simply says, "I'm in, stay tuned." It's no secret he hasn't been happy with Andrew Scheer's head of the party. About a week after the election, he said this about Scheer.
Yeah, to use a good Canadian analogy, it was like having a breakaway on an open net and missing the net.
The 54-year-old served as a member of parliament from 1997 to 2015, spending some time in cabinet as Attorney General, Defense Minister, and Foreign Affairs Minister. And it's not just his political resume that has attracted attention over the years. He's also been nicknamed Canada's George Clooney, being named the sexiest MP on the Hill 10 times, and being married to a human rights activist. As of now, Marilyn Gladu is the only other official declared candidate. I'm Charlene Close.
And Peel police have arrested a 30-year-old man after a shooting in Brampton last week. On Friday, officers were called for reports of shots fired just before 2:30 in the morning near County Court Boulevard and Bloomingdale Drive. Well, no one was hurt in the shooting. A home and a nearby vehicle were damaged by damaged by gunfire. The suspect has since been arrested and charged with several offenses, including intentionally discharging a firearm and possession of a weapon. In 60 seconds, we'll check traffic and weather.
Firearm too?
680 News Time, 9:50. It's cold, dark. Last night's snowfall turned your car into a snowbank. Nissan knows winter can be harsh, but you are a winter warrior. So you did. You scraped and this isn't even my car. Right now, during the Winter Warrior sales event at Nissan, drive home a Rogue, Qashqai, or Kicks, or get up to $6,000 standard rate finance cash on other select models. Now until January 31st. Visit choosenissan.ca or your Nissan dealer. Conditions apply.
If I told you there are as many as 2,000 homeless youth in our city each night, would you care? What if I told you most of them have suffered from abuse and neglect? Then would you care? What if I told you many feel safer on the streets than they do at home? Now do you care? What if I told you I really need your help? How young do they need to be before you care? Donate $8 a month to Covenant House Toronto and provide homeless kids with a warm bed, hot meal, and a better future. Visit covenanthousetoronto.ca to donate.
680 News Time, 9:51.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by TSC. We have a couple of concerns on the eastbound 401. If you're traveling through Dixon Road, the eastbound Dixon ramp, the eastbound 401 ramp to Dixon Road currently blocked. Just the access to eastbound Dixon, in fact, and it's because of a collision. So as you take that ramp, you can still exit at Dixon. You're just forced to go to westbound Dixon. as that ramp that leads to eastbound is blocked, and it's because of a collision on Dixon Road itself. So eastbound Dixon just east of the 401's down to a single lane for the same collision cleanup. Further along on the eastbound 401 east of Port Union in the Express, the right lane is blocked by the MTO stolen vehicle on the bullnose here being hooked up to a tow truck. No delay through that area though. A new problem on the northbound Don Valley Parkway north of Gerrard. We have a stolen vehicle blocking the right lane here as well. Police and Toronto Transportation on scene. Just a minor delay through this area from about Dundas to north of Gerrard. Is a pretty minor slowdown through this stretch. And that pretty well does it for highway problems. Just one spot of construction. It's the northbound Yonge Street ramp to the westbound 407, which has been closed for overnight maintenance. As well, a collision being attended to by emergency crews at the intersection of Carlaw and Eastern, so expect lane restrictions at that intersection. Shop 2 great Dyson offers at TSC tomorrow and save big. Wow. Get the powerful Dyson AM09 fan or the super efficient Dyson humidifier. Shop tsc.ca. Your next report at 10:01 with the extended forecast. Here's Jason Fraser.
Mostly cloudy right now across the GTA, and some of us may end up seeing just a few flurries in around the region tonight, and we'll see a low temperature right around the freezing mark. Now, tomorrow morning, many of us will wake up to mostly cloudy skies. Some of us could see some flurries in the morning, but we're not expecting any major accumulation, maybe about a 1 to 2 centimeters, but it will be breezy throughout tomorrow. We could see some winds gusting up to 50 kilometers per hour, and the wind chills will be anywhere between -7 and -13 degrees by the afternoon time. The high temperature will be around -1. Now, for Friday, it's going to be very chilly. We're expecting wind chills around -21 in the morning. The air temperature will be closer to around -8. We'll see plenty of sunshine, but it will be the calm before the storm, because on Saturday, we're going to have a massive storm that's going to move across the GTA, and it's going to give us not only some rain showers, but some ice pellets along with some snow. We'll see a high temperature then of +3 degrees. Right now in Pearson, it's 2 degrees. Our overnight low is -1.
680 News Time, 9:54.
Hi, I'm Brian Scudamore from 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Is it too early to do spring cleaning?
We bring the springtime with us, ma'am. Just walk around and point at junk you wish would disappear.
Point? Wow. You really do bring the springtime.
We leave behind happy places and happy faces. We work until midnight, 7 days a week, and we can be there in 90 minutes. All you have to do is point at 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
News is always changing. Now more than ever. Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day. This is 680 News. Ask for us on your smart speaker.
Does the naked body belong on Facebook? Well, it's complicated. Nude photos account for the bulk of posts that Facebook takes down, and some are not happy. Artists, activists, sex educators, and abuse survivors say the social network is unfairly censoring their work, suspending them in what they call
please let me put a dick shot as my profile photo,
child exploitation and non-consensual images don't belong on social networks, and Facebook employs thousands of people and artificial intelligence to sort through naked posts. The company says it's constantly retooling its policies on nudity to account for nuances around gender identity, political speech, and self-expression, but admits it's challenging. I'm Julie Walker.
In Canada, since toplessness is legal for all genders, they won't take down photos of topless women posted from Canada. But most Canadians don't know that, so they don't do it.
I want to see my business move forward.
Things can move fast when you're in business. And at BDC, we understand entrepreneurs. With our 100% online small business loan, you could quickly make your project a reality. Go to bdc.ca/online loan. Apply in minutes and get up to $100,000 within 48 hours of approval. Apply now at bdc.ca/online loan.
Front of the Line by American Express offers club members advanced ticket access to see Zach Brown Band and Roar with the Lions Tour, presented by Polaris on June 12th at Budweiser Stage. With special guest Gregory Alan Isaacoff. Advanced tickets are on sale now until Thursday, January 16th at 10 p.m. Visit ticketmaster.ca/American Express to purchase tickets. Ticket limits and terms apply. The powerful backing of American Express. Don't live life without it.
680 news time, 9:56. Now your business report. Here is Richard Southern.
Good evening. Air Canada's new made in Quebec A220 aircraft is about to enter service. The first one will carry passengers tomorrow. Air Canada will have 17 of them by the end of the year, and eventually will have 45 in its fleet. The single-aisle plane was developed by Bombardier, which later sold it to Airbus. The 137-seat jet is fuel efficient, which airlines like, but also spacious, which passengers should like. On Air Canada, the 19-inch wide seats on the A220 are the largest in Air Canada's fleet. It's a 2-3 configuration, meaning there's no middle seat on one side of the plane. Business travelers will like the fact that each seat will have its own charging port. The jet is 20% more fuel efficient, which means there'll be new routes available to Air Canada that weren't financially viable before, like Montreal, Seattle, and Toronto, San Jose, both of which will start up in the spring. It's not, though, expected to ease the crunch created from the 737 MAX grounding. Air Canada stock has been a high flyer on Bay Street, but was down 47 cents today at $51.54 per share. All right, meantime, Amazon making a big announcement about kicking in money to small businesses in India, though it's not going over very well in that country. Here's Anthony Akoli, TD Bank.
Amazon is looking to pour about $1 billion into small businesses over the next 5 years, and they really want to try to help bring more than 10 million Indian businesses online. Amazon, of course, faces a lot of protests from small businesses in that country because they feel they're being squeezed by a deep discounting companies like Amazon.
Amazon stock down $7 today. TSX up 62, a record 17,415. The Dow up 90 to 29,030. First close above 29K for the Dow. S&P up 6, Nasdaq up 7. Gold $1,555. The Lumi 76.68 cents US. This is 680 News.
Fuck, I waited to hear that bullshit.
So you're rich yet? Since I switched to Equestrian, the lower fees are making a big difference.
Sounds complicated.
Please, Equestrian makes it easy.